a week to go. The show's on Saturday. This is Monday. They've been working on the stage for the last 2 weeks. It's 100 foot in length. You're going to have bass drummers there, 20-ton players, 20-piece brass section, festival chorus choir, whole conga section here. Out from this gang, we've got 25 dancers doing a huge rhythmic stamping thing. Really sharp, what do you think?
The hardest there at the moment is the dance rehearsals. We've got about 20 people who've had to start from scratch, mucking about with boots and boom handles, making up rhythms. Sean's doing a really good job just translating ideas and putting in simple choreography. We've only got 6 rehearsals left, and out of that, it's got to make some sort of shape. The orchestra's got a common link in that everyone's a musician of like varying skills, whereas on the dance side it's a new territory. There's nothing to hide behind. I think it takes a lot of guts to stand up and perform in front of 20,000 people when your left foot doesn't really know what your right foot's doing.
This is very exciting. 6 months of planning. Hundreds of people have been working to create this fantasy idea. Something that's come from a community project, really working hard with the community to create something original and exciting. This is where things really get going for me, and as we head for the home run and the last few bits of the jigsaw come into place, it's been months of meetings with sponsors, shaping the show. I mean, closing a major road and finding space to build a stage set of 30,000 beer cans presents a bit of a challenge, but that's great buzz of the whole thing. We only get one crack at it. It's risk and challenge all round. Great stuff.
Well, here we are. 5 days, 3 hours to go. Look at that. What a sight.
There's absolutely no way we could do this without the generosity and the goodwill of the companies involved. I mean, it's an incredibly infectious atmosphere down here. Someone actually offered us a huge crane last night, totally free of charge. In the backstage area, we've got around 7 generators, powering the lights and the lasers and the PA. And also tucked in there somewhere we'd be putting 4 Second World War style searchlights. We powered up the generators for the first time last night, and about 3 o'clock this morning we actually plotted in the lighting state into the computer. So at least we know it all works. What could go wrong?
Hove has got a massive wealth of musicians of all types. So just the odd little bit in a paper of any sort gets interest going. And then it's mainly word of mouth, just lots of people saying, oh, there's a drum thing happening, are you going to do it, I'm going to do it, we'll come together. The hardest thing is once you've got all those people in the room, and so the first rehearsal you've got maybe 20 people there, everyone wants to know what it is. Is it a jam? Do we all just play or don't we play? And so we get a result straight away by just doing something very, very simple, but so that you actually get 20 performers playing together. So when you do a very simple cue that everyone stops together, and the feeling is like, within 5 minutes you can make something happen. The hardest thing is that they're all from different backgrounds. You've got rock drummers, you've got jazz drummers, some of them are complete animals and just want to play loud, some of them want to do very intricate technical stuff. Then you've got marching drummers who are all kids, 16, 17, 18 upwards. And their background is very much, it's regimented, it's very strict what they do. They very quickly respect each other, so there's no snobbery, that all goes out the window, which is great. And it's then just getting them all working together as soon as possible, so they realise that they've got all of that talent to be used in one outfit rather than separate areas and stuff. This is ranging up to about now 150 performers all working. It's impossible to put that all together. It's also very boring for everyone. So the drummers work separately for the first 2 weeks, and that's the most powerful rehearsals because you've got 60 drummers all going mad at each other. The brass stay separate, and they just work out the riffs together. That's about 25 people. So all of that is them slowly getting to know each other, getting the buzz. You also get great competition from one room to another. Because the brass are going to peep in at the drums are peeping at the brass, but they don't really know what's going on. They're also working on cues that don't make sense without the brass for the drums, and same with the brass. So they're thinking, this isn't going to work. When the brass actually come down the steps, and first of all, the drummers just break into applause because they're like, first of all, I think they're just excited and they want to play with the brass, and it's a way of showing excitement and everything. The brass is the first time they're going to play with the drums. They're very careful not to mess it up. It's almost like two teams meeting now. It's like the drummers are like, yeah, we're going to show the brass are going to show the drums. And then when it works and it hits, it's loud, it's good, and the satisfaction on everybody's face is brilliant. And that's what the show's about. If we get that on the night, we'll be laughing.
The sound rig is a 7K turbo rig. They're using somewhere in the region of 40 microphones with a 48-channel desk. As you can imagine, it's a major headache. For a start, we have a 1 second delay bouncing back off the wall over there. And everybody is crammed together on the stage, so microphones all over the place. People are out of position, they're not really hearing what's going on. Heavy sounds, heavy timbs, heavy bass drums. So, you know, everybody's very, very excited about the whole thing. We really don't know what's going to happen tonight. We know that we have all the elements, and we think that it's going to rock the socks off everything that's ever happened before. Well, it's basically taken about 2.5 weeks to build. There's been sometimes up to 10 guys working on that. You know, I mean, you can see the amount of work that has actually gone into that. I know for a fact that other companies have come along and they've looked at Paul, who is the owner of the company, and they've actually looked at that stage and they said, my God, you know, we could not have done that. We really don't know how you've done that. I mean, you can see they've come 10 feet out of the water. They've probably bought about £4,000 worth of scaffolding. They've hired from every company in the town. You know, they are the only people, as far as I know, who could possibly do the job. And they've done it, and well, look at it, it's brilliant. Well, the Red Cross points are marked here, 1, 2, and 3. We've also got a police area here, and I think we have a mobile caravan as well.
Yes. The inquiries that I've had from people with disabilities about access, people that will have to come in ambulances, etc.
Yeah.
I've told them to go to Gate Z by 8 o'clock-ish. Right? They will then go through the gate. The steward will take the vehicle across the centre of the lagoon.
No, I think we should stress that the chestnut fencing is not there to support a large crowd, and I think that you know, have some thought for people in front of you. Don't push on them because the fence will not support that sort of weight.
I mean, that's only in about 3 inches.
It's only about 3 inches.
Which, you know...
Our job as the police force is to ensure public safety, is to ensure no public disorder, is to ensure that there are no criminal offences committed, and to see that the traffic around the vicinity...
It's a real thrill to have an idea like this and then get the backing of Hove Council, the police and the sponsors. What makes it really exciting is that it's all come out of the work on the local community festival in Hangleton and Knoll. Hundreds of people are pitching in to make it work. It's really about people from start to finish.
But you can only do that until the wood splits, can't you?
Yeah.
They've got this splitting down the middle now.
Yeah.
Jeezy's taking care of all the fireworks and pyros. We've got banks of fireworks each side of the stage. We've got Spanish mascaletas, Chinese cracker cakes, singing birds, hundreds of rockets, massive shells and mortar bombs. All the big shells are on the beach and they're firing out to sea, so there shouldn't really be any problems with the crowd. The fireworks are the unknown areas, so obviously we can't rehearse them. We've been working closely with Steve anyway, as he's part of the team, and he's been in the design stages and he's also been along to most of the rehearsals.
I see it as punctuation. It's impossible to actually time fireworks to music because certain bits of fuse will delay in different ways, and sometimes they don't go off. But basically, it's the music can reach a climax as far as it can go, and then we can pump it up that bit extra.
Apart from their sheer energy and dynamics, we use fireworks and pyros because they're a brilliant crowd puller and they're a really stress the family nature of the event. like with the stage set, the trampoline, projections, dancers and choirs, they're an integrated part of the show. When the waterfall goes off, with the orchestra pumping full pelt behind it, things will really rock.
Brass and drums working together now, and we've started to bring in timpts, we've started to bring in the string section and everything. The choir, because they're so busy working in London, we can only rehearse on the actual Saturday morning, which means that I'm working on a score with the choir, and I'm working on the same score with the drums and brass, and at no time they can come together until the gig. So you've got no way of knowing if this is going to work until you actually do it. And that's makes it very exciting. And also, obviously, you're going to busk it, you're living on an edge, and the whole thing could fall apart, or the whole thing's going to be great. And at 12 o'clock Saturday, oh no. And it's too late to change it then. They're quite straight, but they're obviously not so straight, otherwise I wouldn't be doing this, which is very important. I'm very in awe of all that situation, because I think once a musician like me starts working with classical musicians, you know, we see them on this other level. You know, they're the proper musicians, they know the notes, they know where it's dotted. I'm not, I'm a loud sort of motivator person, so the fact that I'm standing there in baggy shorts conducting them in my strange way is was scary, but at the same time it was great. It was, you know, to work with those sort of people and conduct them is brilliant. You know. The level of commitment from everyone has been phenomenal. I think even if certain ideas don't work out, the amount of energy that's put in, I think it'll see us through. It'd be great.
There's definitely a buzz around town about the show, but there's still no way of telling how many people will turn up. We have to plan safety-wise for over 30,000, even if only a few thousand come. The weather's holding, which makes life easier. Andy and Sue's set looks amazing. Rehearsals have been fun, which is pretty important. So all we need now is a good turnout, and I reckon we're up for a good night.
Is there any kind of pneumatic device that we could use for this? I mean, something away from muscle power, because I tell you, we've got like at least 10 Glaswegian drummers on this.
Yeah.
And they've been hammering this thing for 3 days. And now what's happening is, the more they hammer, the more the wood splits.
Oh, yeah.
This is it. The tension's mounting, the adrenaline's flowing, there's a lot of excitement backstage.
Biggie.
Hope you're feeling good out there, because ladies and gentlemen, 6 months of planning, and now, here live, the Hove Lagoon.